are the sights and sounds of hope. Hope for a new generation of Armenians. These are the children of Qarabağ, born at the dawn of the 21st century. They are the first in many years to be given a chance simply to be children. For those preceding them were shattered by bombs and bullets and broken dreams. Their older siblings, parents, and grandparents lived, fought, and died through the fierce Azeri onslaughts that attempted to wipe them clean of this ancient Armenian soil. Their heroic measures of self-defense, far outnumbered, against all odds and at a heavy price, in most villages defeated the aggressors and created a fragile state of freedom. Still, tens of thousands, many women and children, were killed, and far more were left orphaned and homeless. Their towns and villages were ruined. But they were not alone.
Մենք վստահ ենք, եթե վիրավոր ենք ունենալու, նրանք գտնվելու են ապահով ձեռքերի մեջ։ Մենք վստահ ենք, եթե նույնիսկ նահատակ ենք ունենալու, իրանց ընտանիքները անտեր չեն մնա։
Among those who rushed to the aid of the people of Qarabağ was the Armenian Relief Society. ARS volunteers cared for the wounded soldiers and civilians, and for the orphans. They provided desperately needed food and supplies, and began to rebuild the land and the people. Looking toward the future, the Armenian Relief Society focused its energies and resources on opening kindergartens in the region. Today, more than 10 years later, hundreds of children attend 14 ARS SOSE kindergartens located throughout Qarabağ. The Armenian Relief Society, with the support of donors, built or renovated every one of these schools and continues to ensure that each of them receives the funding it needs to keep these children's young hopes alive. This is not the only project of the Armenian Relief Society. In fact, this grassroots humanitarian organization, comprised mostly of women, was formed nearly 100 years ago, in 1910, to assist their compatriots in a homeland where they were being subjected to increasing brutality and oppression. It was inspired by a young visionary named Khachadur Malumian, better known as Edward Agnuni, in New York. As Armenian women were banding together and the organization taking shape, the Great War erupted in 1914. A foreboding of the dark days to come. In 1915, the Young Turk Party set into motion its barbaric plot to rid historic Armenia, then the Ottoman Empire, of all Armenians. What followed was a show of evil and inhumanity, yet unequaled. The merciless killing tactics and mass deportations through the Syrian desert of Derzor left not one Armenian untouched. One by one, 1.5 million men, women, and children perished. The survivors often wished they had. The Armenian Relief Society, though young and inexperienced, shifted quickly into action. With the Near East Relief Organization, they collected money, life-saving supplies, and volunteers. The ARS women helped set up refugee camps and makeshift orphanages, and even classrooms. They worked around the clock to enable survivors to wake up to a new day. 3 years later, still recovering from genocide, Armenia declared independence in 1918. But the fledgling republic was devastated by war, famine, and disease, and the ARS, while still manning refugee camps, extended its assistance to the people of Armenia. And here was born its motto, with the people, for the people. World War II and the years that followed presented the ARS with new challenges, and once again, volunteers rushed to aid the distressed communities. In places including Lebanon, Egypt, and Greece, the organization served the needy with the plate of food and drop of milk programs, while housing the homeless and caring for the children. Through it all, the ARS grew and strengthened Armenian communities around the world by opening schools and initiating cultural and educational programs, while still providing the traditional relief work that had become its hallmark. The ARS was there to respond to the 1959 earthquake in Iran and the 1985 Mexico quake. But nothing could prepare it for the catastrophe that lay ahead. On December 7, 1988, as children were in school, men and women working, and mothers with their little ones in Armenia, the earth crushed at least 50,000 people in one of the most devastating earthquakes in history. Thousands of people were trapped under tons of rubble. The lucky ones were dug out. Many never had a chance. For those who survived, it was living hell. The quake that leveled entire cities and crippled the country sent shockwaves through the world. Medical teams and humanitarian relief started pouring in immediately, and with Project Emergency Relief, the ARS mobilized like never before to provide food, clothing, medicine, and human assistance to the survivors. After the earthquake, the Armenian Relief Society rebuilt whole villages, including more than 190 homes in Noyemberian, Saryar, and Garashen. It established medical clinics, psychiatric outreach programs, and optic centers without expense to the people. It also initiated the Orphan Fund and Sponsor a Child, programs widely supported by ARS volunteers and donors around the world, which to this day help thousands of earthquake, war zone, and other orphans weather the difficult times. The ARS also assists the destitute, elderly, and widows who've seen the worst of life.
Բարեգործական գումարը ստանում եմ հոմի միջոցով, շնորհակալություն եմ հայտնում բոլորից։
1991 marked a new beginning for Armenia. As Armenia declared independence from the Soviet Union, the Armenian Relief Society also soared to new heights. Since then, the ARS, now active in 24 countries including Armenia, while maintaining its established programs, has given birth to new ones. Among them, the Mother and Child Health Center in Ahurian. This state-of-the-art facility provides thousands of residents in the earthquake zone with free prenatal, gynecologic, and pediatric care, which was previously unavailable to them. And just 2 years ago, the ARS, with contributions from loyal supporters, opened the doors of the Ahurian Birthing Center. The first baby was born there on April 24, 2005.
Քանի որ 24-ի օրը, ապրիլի 24-ին հայերի ցեղասպանության օրը ծնվեց, մենք համապատասխան անուն ընտրեցինք Բրեժ.
Today, mothers who previously would have given birth at home with high mortality rates are instead giving birth to healthy babies, with the highest quality of care being afforded to both mother and newborn. Several healthy babies are born here each day.